Hi guys, we're back to film another video. We just filmed a video comparing the 4 different parks in Walt Disney World. We had Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot. And now we're going to focus on each one, today being we're going to do our video on Hollywood Studios and talk a little bit about some of the rides and attractions at Hollywood Studios. And with me again we have Lizzie on the end, 13 years old, Judy, 8 years old, Trey, 15 years old, Shelby, 16 years old, and Dad, very old. So we're going to talk a little about some of the attractions at Hollywood Studios. The first thing we have on our list is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. What do you guys think about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway?
That was good.
Yeah, I really like it. It's a good ride. Like if you're like tired and you can go over there and kind of relax on. It's like a train where like you can see all these different scenes because like you get split apart. There's like a dance room. There's a waterfall room, but like where you like it's like a good like adventure ride kind of.
I think it's really good for like younger people and older people as well. It's like a good ride just to go on. Like it's not really focused on any age group. You just can go on it. It's really enjoyable actually.
Right. What do you think, Shelbs?
The technology of like you are in your ride vehicle is like this square thing and it just moves you around into different rooms, and I think the technology behind that's really cool. It's similar to Rise of the Resistance in Galaxy's Edge, but yeah, I love all the details and everything.
It has a rideless track technology, so there's no track that you go on. So like Shelby said, you can go pretty much anywhere. Trey, what do you think about it?
I was gonna say it's the younger version of the other one, Shelby's.
Rise of the Resistance?
That one, but Shelby said it first, so yeah. I mean, it was good.
I think what Lizzie said really is true, where it appeals to people of all ages. Like it's not just for little kids, it's not just for adults, it's not just for teenagers. I think everyone will like this attraction in your family. It's not scary. It's a great ride. I think Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and it's coming to Disneyland here in just about a month. This being filmed at the end of 2022, and it's coming to Disneyland in 2023. But right now it is at Hollywood Studios. The next thing we'll talk about is Star Tours. Is at Hollywood Studios. Do you guys like Star Tours pretty well?
I love Star Tours. It's really fun. So like you're just on this like ride and like they pick a spy. So the bad guys are trying to capture the spy. So you can go down like there's like different things. They just pick it randomly, like different themes. So you're like going if it's like an ice theme, like you like in the snow.
It's a random. So does someone want to explain kind of what Star Tours is? Kind of like how it works? Like
So basically how
it's a simulator.
Yeah, so you go into this Star Tours vehicle and you're ready to tour the galaxy, and you get a rebel spy, and the Sith people want to capture said rebel spy, and so you run away to a different planet, and this planet is randomly chosen, so it can be a long list, chosen out of a long list, and then it'll do this, and then, well, yeah.
so and you get into a simulator and you're rocking back and forth, and there's a screen that you're watching, but the screen, the different scenarios are randomized, and so there can be, I think, like you can go to Tatooine, you can go to where's some of the Odo Gunga from the prequels. There's Hoth. There's Crate. There's a lot of different. There's space scenes. There's a lot of different scenes and they're randomized every time you go to 2 different scenes each time you go on it.
I would like to add also that ride you have to put like 3D glasses on.
Good point. Yes. Yep. It is. You have 3D glasses to wear, and you're in a simulator. But I think that's another one for pretty much all ages.
Yeah, it's really good.
You guys think, Lizzie and Shelby too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get motion sick, I get motion sick pretty easily,
Same with
but
me, but
it's very enjoyable, so you'd be distracted enough not to get motion sickness.
Yeah.
But
it's like too cool to get motion sickness.
It's too fun to get motion sickness.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about, though. If you get motion sickness easy, you might be careful on this one. But Shelby does get motion sick and Judy pretty easily, and they seem to be usually okay with it. So fun ride, I think. Star Tours is good for all ages. Let's see here. We'll talk a little about the Rock and Roller Coaster by starring Aerosmith. Now, this one I've never been on. I'm not a big roller coaster person, and I stayed off of it with Judy when we went last year. So this is going to be up to Lizzie, Trey, and Shelby to explain what Rock and Roller Coaster is like. What do you guys think?
It was, if I remember correctly, because it's been a while, it was kind of like Space Mountain, where it was an inside roller coaster.
It is,
and
yeah.
You couldn't see that much, but it was fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, like more than I thought I would actually, because it's like the theme. I'm like, okay, whatever, but like
You're not a
really
big
enjoyed
Aerosmith
it.
fan. You don't really know
Yeah,
what Aerosmith is.
I don't know any of
Yeah,
that, but like
yeah.
it was actually really cool. And then I love thrill rides, so it's like another great ride to go on.
What do you think, Shelves?
I don't really remember much. All I know is that I enjoyed it a lot. So.
Yeah, it's going to be one more for thrill seekers. Judy does not like roller coasters, so I stayed off it with her. That was my excuse because I'm not a big roller coaster person either. So I'm glad that I had Judy to not make me look too much like a wimp, But I think for people that do enjoy roller coasters, from what I hear, it's a lot of fun for that type of ride. Next, we're going to go with the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. What do you guys think on that one?
Yes, it's
No.
wonderful. It's beautiful. I love that ride so much. It's very different from Guardians of the Galaxy in a way where it's like themed differently, obviously.
Well, explain what happens on it, because some people
Yeah.
might not ever been to Disneyland either.
So you get into an elevator, and
You're seated though, right, in the vehicle?
yes, seated. Yeah, no, you're sitting. You fly out.
Okay.
You sit in an elevator, and in Tower of Terror, it's like haunted or whatever, and then you go through this like it goes up, and then it goes through this like little. It just got random stuff. I don't remember it too well, but it had like spooky stuff everywhere. And then you went back into the elevator, and then it just went up, and then let gravity kind of like go down, and it's really cool. I really like it a lot.
And actually, you go down, from what I've read, you go down faster than gravity. It actually pulls you down
Pushes you down,
faster.
yeah.
So it's not just gravity; it's actual more than gravity.
And you are seatbelted into
And don't
the
worry,
train.
your seatbelted.
What do you think, Shelby?
I really enjoyed it. I had only been on Guardians of the Galaxy, which is very
At
similar.
Disneyland.
So I was a bit confused when we reached the top and we started moving around
Yeah, it was
because
really
I was
cool.
expecting to drop.
Mhm.
So that was a bit confusing, but it was very enjoyable. I really liked it.
There's probably it's themed to the old TV series, the Twilight Zone is what it's themed to. So it may not have quite as much relevance today as it is Guardians of the Galaxy to these guys at least. But it also, like the kids said, it's actually got a little bit more, I feel like maybe storytelling, because you're actually moving around a little bit more. The story may not be as exciting to people because it's kind of an older Twilight Zone type of thing, but instead of just dropping you up and down like the Guardians of the Galaxy does in California, it has a little bit more maybe stories along the way. Again, I actually have been on it. I don't think I went on it in Florida, but I went on it in California before they changed it to Guardians of the Galaxy. And I actually enjoyed it pretty well. It's not one of my favorite things because it drops straight down, so I don't really enjoy that stuff. But I stayed off of it, I think, with Judy this time. So again, my excuse not to go on it again. But if you like that sort of a straight down type of feeling where your stomach feels like it's gonna come out your mouth, then this ride's for you.
And don't clench your stomach or anything, because that made me really sick afterwards. You just gotta let loose.
Just gotta let loose and not clench your stomach. That's the key.
Enjoy the ride.
Okay. We're going to move on and go to Walt Disney Presents Gallery and Exhibits. And I don't think you guys did this. I went on it myself while you guys were in line at one of the other attractions. I love Disney history. And if you've seen my other YouTube channel posts, you'll know this, or my blog, you'll know it. But I love history. And this was my favorite thing in the world. I only got to spend about 5 minutes in there just to kind of see all the old technology. There's a bunch of exhibits that were at the studio back in the 30s and 40s. It shows kind of how Walt Disney made his pictures. It talks a little about the history of Disney parks and things like that, and the animation. Love the Walt Disney Presents Gallery and Exhibits. Awesome. And I won't have you guys talk about it because you guys didn't go there. But really cool attraction if you like Disney history. If you don't, you might be able to just walk through it in 5 minutes and be out of there. But let's see, there's Star Wars Launch Bay, which was closed when we were there, but it basically exhibits. In fact, they may even be closing this permanently. They may not reopen that, from what I understand. We go to Toy Story Land. There's the alien swirling saucers. Do you guys remember the alien swirling
I like
saucers?
that. It's technically, if you've been to Disneyland and went to Mater's Junkyard Jamborees, that's technically what it is. But if you haven't, it's just like this. It's kind of there's two pieces to it. You kind of jerk back and forth. Like there's the front piece that you can't be on, but the back piece it'll just like swing you back and forth while you're moving around.
Okay, do you guys remember it at all, or?
I don't think I went on it, so.
It's almost it's kind of like a normal amusement park spinning kind of ride. So did it make you motion sick or no?
No, it does make you motion sick. But
Okay.
for sure, when I was little, when I went on it, I didn't like it. So I'd say like do it when you're kind of my age around.
8 years old or so.
Yeah, because when I was little, I didn't like that type of stuff.
I think it's probably more designed for younger kids versus teenagers, but it's another attraction for younger kids to do. The Slinky Dog Dash.
I've been on it once, but I didn't really like it.
It's got
'cause
a
it's big roller.
very, very long line.
It had a long
It's
line for it, and it's kind of like a kid's roller coaster. But with that said, Judy didn't like it. She wanted to get off that as soon as
it goes like
fast. It goes
really
up and down and
Yeah,
around.
up and down,
Yeah.
and it goes really fast.
It's not as intense as like a Space Mountain or like a an intense roller coaster, but it may be a little bit too intense for younger kids, even though it is built for younger kids. Do you guys remember much about the Slinky Dog Dash?
I guess it was probably kind of, if I kind of remember right, it was kind of like the Gadget Go Coaster.
A little bit like
Yeah,
Gadget's
just a
Go
little
Coaster,
bit longer though.
but longer. Yeah, it lasted a decent amount of time. Yeah,
Except I think Gadget's Go Coaster doesn't have cushions on the seat.
right. It's a little more comfortable than that one. The
Jeez.
Slinky Dog Dash is more of a smooth roller coaster. It felt pretty smooth, I think.
Yeah, but except for like there's this part where it goes up really fast and then down.
And down.
But there's a couple parts like that. Like also when you're kind of in the middle of the ride, it'll have you stop and then it'll go really fast up and down.
Shoot you a
Because
little
it's
bit.
like it has this like thing that says go on there, and then you wait like a couple seconds, and then it like launches you really fast.
I was sitting with Judy and she wanted to get off of it as fast as she could. She did not enjoy it very much. So we'll move on and we'll go to Toy Story Mania.
Oh, that's my favorite ride by far. It's a really fun like if you like I don't know how to explain it, but like
Arcade games.
arcade games. Like so you're technically sitting in this I don't know what to call it, but like you have these little guns. And so you have one. You're trying to compete against another person that's sitting next to you. So technically, you go over here, and then it's technically Toy Story. And so there's like a different room with like balloons. So you're trying to. So
Basically, you're shooting at targets,
yeah,
right, Judy?
You're shooting at targets, but like there's like different places where you're shooting at balloons.
And you get points. It
targets.
keeps your points, keeps track of your points, and it gives you points. What do you guys think about it, Lizzie, Trey, Shelby?
I really don't enjoy arcade games at all, and it's just kind of like, it's just shooting at stuff, and it's just not enjoyable for me.
It's overrated. If it didn't
Yeah.
have a line,
Yeah,
then I would go on it, but it always has like an hour
A very long line.
So
I enjoy it. I mean, it's not my favorite thing, but I do, like, I find pleasure in shooting at
Shelby's
things
good
and
at it,
getting
so
points.
she likes
Yes,
it.
I'm also
Shelby's
good
good
at
at
it.
it.
So,
So it's a ride that anyone can do, younger kids, adults. It's not scary at all. It's more of an arcade style. I don't know about the creativity to it. It's just like it has been said. It's an arcade game. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, go on it. And you'll probably have time because Hollywood Studios doesn't have very many attractions, so you'll probably have time to do it. Other than Toy Story Mania, now the last part of Hollywood Studios is going to be this Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And there's 2 attractions there. There's Smuggler's Run. What do you guys think about Smuggler's Run?
I love it. It's technically kind of like there's buttons you press. So like there's a pilot, so you're trying to steer away from these things because you're technically flying in a
Millennium Falcon.
yeah.
You're
'cause
flying
I-
in the Millennium Falcon from the movies, right? And then
Yes.
there's 6 positions. There's 2 pilots. Did anyone else want to? Trey, why don't you explain
The
kind of?
gunners.
So 2 pilots, 2 gunners, 2 engineers. The pilot, I feel, is the only fun one.
Yeah, like
Because the gunner and the engineer just press a
Just-
button
yeah.
when it says press a button.
Yeah, the button will light up on the side, and you just press it. And
I
that's
press it
like
over
always
and over
fun.
again.
yeah, it's. What do you think, Shelby?
I think it's fun if you're the pilot. There's 2 pilots and they both have different like
One
job
goes side to
lists.
side,
Yes,
one goes up and down.
has the thing that goes side to side, and one goes up and down, and it controls where you're flying. But it's fun if you're the pilot, but not so much if you're anything else.
Lizzie, what do you think?
I've only ever been the gunner, I think,
I've
and I don't
only
think I've ever really done anything else on it, so I can't really say if I like the pilot or not, but from what I experienced, it just wasn't very enjoyable.
I like the gunner because like you can just press the button over and over again. If you like pressing buttons, that's right for you.
I've been every position. I've been the gunner, I've been the engineer, and I've been the pilot. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Ask these kids, they know I love it, and I can't stand this ride. I think this ride is one of the worst rides that Disney's ever made. They had so much opportunity to create something really good here. The cool thing about this ride is the Millennium Falcon, that you get to go in, you get to explore the Millennium Falcon. So as a Star Wars nerd, that is amazing to me. That's the pre-show. The line runs through the Millennium Falcon. So I say go on it just to be in the ride, just to be in the line before you get in the ride. But I feel like that Disney really missed the mark when they made this ride because it's just a video game. You're just sitting in a video game, pressing a button when it lights up. Even the pilot is okay, but it's just you're in a simulator flying the Millennium Falcon, which is cool, but it doesn't feel like you're flying it while you're in there, to me. So we've had a mixture of stuff. It's for anyone can go on it, but
all ages.
and I'd say you're gonna have time to do it, so do it, but don't have your expectations too high. Last thing we'll talk about is Rise of the Resistance. What do you guys think about Rise of the Resistance?
It's okay. It's got a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy in it, kind of, or
In what way?
Terror.
In what way?
So technically, there's all this other random stuff where you walk and get in a ride vehicle, but also this part where you go into this thing because you're trying to escape.
Well, how's it like Guardians of the Galaxy? Explain it since you said that.
It will drop you down. Not
Right.
not very much, but just a little bit. It will drop you
It's
down.
got about an 8 foot or so just drop, and so if you're sensitive to just dropping, then you probably won't like this ride. Judy doesn't like it because of that one drop. It terrifies her because of that drop. Other than that, though, if that drop wasn't there, you'd probably like it okay.
Oh yeah, it's really fun because you're technically escaping from the bad guys because
Yeah,
you're a
it's
prison.
a really good story. Like, just like you don't even have to be in a ride vehicle to enjoy the ride. You are waiting in the line, and then you get like put into these like you get trapped by the rebel people, and then you get put in these like little cells, and you get like questioned, and then he has to
Like
go
Kylo
through.
Ren.
Yeah, and then you get the rebel. Sorry, it's,
Rebels break you out.
Yes.
The First Order is the people that have you trapped.
yes. So they they take you into this room and put you in a ride vehicle that are like the transports to go somewhere, and so then you sit in there and it takes you around. Like there's like it's really cool because you go to like these windows where you can see like ships fighting, and then you go to around the big like walker things all around
Which is
there.
amazing. Those are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then-
very cool.
It lifts you up, and then it puts you in space, and when it puts you in space, it's when that drop hits, which is really cool. Like it just makes it looks so realistic to me. And then it like flies you through space. It's just a really cool story.
What do you guys, Trey and Shelby, what do you guys think about it?
It's my favorite ride overall because it has so many moving parts. Like, you're just standing in a line, and then you get into this transport, and the rebels take you, and you're flying, and then you get captured, and all that stuff. And, like, you're walking, but you're also on a ride some of the time.
Yeah.
It's
And
amazing.
kind of to explain that a little bit, it's one of those rides where you get on and off many different vehicles. First, you're put into like a transport, and it actually spins around, and then you go out and you get loaded into. That's when you get captured by the First Order. So then you're in another vehicle. There's different vehicles you're in. You're transferring from one vehicle to the next. Trey, I skipped you. What do you think about it?
So it's like 20 minutes long in total.
Yes.
So even if you don't like the little drops, I would recommend going on it anyway. It's a really cool experience.
The drop is just such a small part of it, and it's just a teeny little drop. It's not a big one, but if you psych yourself out, sometimes like Judy can't psych herself out about the drop, then she doesn't enjoy the rest of the ride. And I understand because when I was a little kid, I didn't like drops at all, and so. It has that little drop, but other than that little drop, it's a pretty cool ride for little kids, and even if the little kids like drops, I think like a lot of kids do, they'd be fine with it. But it's not really scary, I don't think. It's a little bit intense in parts, but again, not too scary, I don't think, for young kids at all. So.
And even if you're not sure, I think you have a video on your channel.
Right, yeah, check out the
on it,
video
so
and
check
see
that out.
if you think it's too intense, but
It's still cool except the drop. Like I like all the rest of the ride, just except that little drop. But
are there any other things that we missed in there, guys, that you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's pretty. There's a lot of places to eat in there too. I think we went to Oga's Cantina and got some really fun drinks there. Was it called the Carbon Freeze is what we had.
Yeah,
that has
cool.
little
It
steam
has,
coming,
dry
ice
on
coming
the
out of it.
bottom of it.
Yeah, but that was a fun drink to have. But Hollywood Studios, fun land to go to. Probably the second most popular unofficially at Disneyland by most people, to Magic Kingdom being the first. But anything else you guys want to add? Okay.
And that's all.
Well, thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you in some of our next videos.